Well, hello and how are ya? This is blog 19. Yes, sir. Now I am back on track. The date is 2/18/2015. That's right. Shenandoah Briscoe with you. Talking to you from right here in St. Charles, Missouri. Now, I'm going to cut my voice and try to go with my natural voice. So, we'll give it a shot. Haven't used it in a while. So, anyway, what I was going to talk about today was some friends of mine that, matter of fact, the people I were living with at the time of my accident. Well, this is prior to that time. Me and my ex-wife went over to their house to play a game of cards. Well, they were collectors of different types of animals. They had horses. They had mini goats, miniature goats. They had chow dogs, and they had birds. Well, this one night in particular, they had a macaw, red macaw. His name was Romeo. And well, we weren't doing nothing but playing cards, but ever so often, I would reach out there with my voice and I'd say, Romeo! Ah, 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 ah. Well, that went on all night. Every about 15, 20 minutes, I'd yell out there, Romeo! Ah, 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 ah. Didn't take. I figured I'd taught the bird something, but it didn't take. Until the next day, I got a call on the phone, said, I'm going to kill you. And I said, what? You got my stupid bird going, Romeo! Ha, 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 ha. Every few minutes. I said, oh, it did work. And they were like, yeah, it worked. Thank you very much. But that's okay. That's neither here nor there. That was a long time ago. Of course, that'll probably throw up memories back in their life. They'll be right there on it, thinking, oh, man, why'd you have to do that? A little bit of the water there. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Anyway, let's see, what was I going to talk about today? I didn't really have anything other than talking about the bird today. Of course, you know how macaws are. Macaws will repeat whatever it is you say. If you work with them, you got to work with them for a little while, and they're good to train. Almost anything can be trained. I mean, well, I don't know, not everything can be trained. Almost anything can be trained. You cannot train an ex-wife. Well, I mean, a wife. You might think you can, but you can't. You may as well give it up, fellers. Fellers, if you think you're out there and you think you're training your wife, you better think again. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's one of those things. I can pass down some wisdom from a marital standpoint. I mean, if you have any marital problems, go ahead and ask me. I'm a fairly good marital counselor. Biggest thing is there's two sides to every story. Your side and her side. You just got to remember that. She's at home all day long with the kids. Whenever you get home, she's ready to give up on it. She's ready to hand the kids over to you and relax. And, you know, you need to take that into consideration. She's been at home all day. She's been doing what she's supposed to be doing at home sometimes. And you've been out to work, and you're ready to get rid of the work. You're ready to get rid of the workload. So when you get home, you're wanting to relax. Well, she's wanting to relax too. I mean, in a lot of cases, the house will be clean, the laundry got all done, and the kids is all taken care of. All they want to do is love on daddy, which is great. That's how it's supposed to be when you get home from work. But you have to remember that just because you were at work and you got mad at somebody at work, don't take it out on her. I mean, she don't deserve what it is that you got from work. You just, like I used to do, yell all the way home, screaming and hollering at my bosses or whatever. So I didn't take it out on her when I got home. But anyway, it's one of those things. It's neither here nor there right now. I can't give you any advice because you haven't asked for it. So I don't know exactly what to pinpoint for you on the advice column. I was just doing that for a second just to see how long I could stare at the monitor. And of course, did you see them eyes? Look at them eyes today. Bright blue, ain't they? Ain't they just bright blue? Well, they was looking bright blue to me. Anywho, where was I? I was going to go somewhere else. Oh, rearing up children's. I tell you what, I got a piece of advice for you. First off, if you're a mother and you've got a youngster and he's getting ready to be potty trained and you're trying to get him to aim for the toilet and not pee all over the place willy-nilly, well, I tell you what you do. You throw you some Fruit Loops in the toilet. That's right, Fruit Loop training. And you give them points. And, so different colors make more points than the other ones. And they will target the inside of the toilet. Yes, they will. Now, I don't know if your husband's been potty trained that way or not, but you might attempt it with him too, so you don't end up sitting on something. But no, and gentlemen, this is my suggestion for you is whenever you flip up the lids, pull both of them up. And darling, I'm sorry, but gentlemen, when you put the lids down, put both of them down. And then that way, neither one of you can complain about having to lift a lid or lay a lid down. If you put them both down, well, she's still got to lift the lid. She won't go running in there sitting on the cold rim because you left the lid open. And on your behalf, you won't get the fact that you peed all over the toilet lid. And she won't be able to complain about that. So there's that for you. But here was my suggestion on rearing kids. When you got little kids, this is how you do it. You throw the Fruit Loops in there and it'll teach them. Now, the other thing that you ought to do is if you get them Power Wheels, teach your kid to parallel park in a Power Wheels. Set up a couple of lawn chairs and teach them to roll right back on in them between them lawn chairs. Because I tell you what, I taught my kids, and both of them passed their driver's test on the first try when it came to parallel parking. That's right. Well, I did brush them up again. Now, you see, I'm in a wheelchair, and sitting in the back, between the seats back there, I can't tell exactly where the van is. Now, I was a professional driver, truck driver over the road, and taxi cab driver here in St. Charles. So, I did do my share of driving, and I know how to drive, and I know space, area, and space with my vehicle. So, as far as training on backing up, I'm a good trainer. And so I did brush them up a couple of times with parallel parking, but it didn't take much because they were used to it. They learned with the, well, in my case, my brat had a Barbie car, and so she learned with that. Sorry, dry throat again. Got to get a little bit of the water. Oh, my goodness. We got the chill going on, only we shouldn't have the chill going on because it's nice and warm in here. It's cold outside, that's for sure. Temperatures out there are like in the negatives right now. On account of the sun went down and the wind's blowing cold. But that's not for me, though, because you know, I got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I've got the month of May. I guess you'd say what it takes to make me feel this way is my girl, talking about my girl. Ooh, ooh. Yep. Just a little bit of the taste of the volume of the melatonin tones of Shenandoah Briscoe. That's right, Shenandoah Briscoe here live in St. Charles, Missouri. Thank you very much for your commentary. Thank you very much for your comments live on my Facebook. That's hello and how are ya, YA. That's right, catch me anytime. Now, like I said, I am back on track. I actually know that this is Blog 19. Whew. Took me a while to get there, but hey, you know how it goes. You can't. It was throwing me off because I was thinking 20 and 21, but the reason was because there was that part 1 and part 2 of my automobile accident. So that's what that was all about. That's what threw me off because I forgot. I forgot that I had the pictures on the one and the accident on the other. Now, I'm going to tell you about that accident pictures. The pictures are reversed. What I needed to do at the time was set my camera to mirror image. And that way the pictures would look proper because the people compartment on the vehicle, it does look like the passenger side, which is wrong. That would have been the driver's side, and my picture, if you're looking at my picture actually, then it's correct. But whenever I showed it on the monitor here, it was backwards, and I wasn't really paying attention to it because what I should have noticed right away was the car should have been over my left shoulder, not over my right shoulder, and my son should have been on my right side, not my left side. But I just wasn't thinking right, wasn't thinking proper on that. So I apologize for that, and it really makes me look ridiculous trying to tell people that my accident would have I would have been okay had I not been wearing a seatbelt. Speaking of that, they were talking about guardrails on the movie, on the show yesterday on the news. Last night around 10 o'clock, they were talking about guardrails being a safety device or a hazard. Well, I don't know, because at the angle of the picture, it looks like it could have been a seatbelt that killed that man also. Because had he not been seatbelted in and that guardrail hit right in there where it did, he would have been tossed to the other side of the vehicle, and he may not have been hurt near as bad as he was. Well, he was killed. But again, there you go with that seatbelt law. No, nobody should have the right to tell me whether I have to wear a seatbelt or not. If I'm wearing a seatbelt, it's not going to hurt Joe in the car next to me, you know. Okay, I believe cell phone laws is a good and and factual thing, you should jump right on in on that, because if Joe Schmo right next door to me is using his cell phone and texting and not paying attention to the road, yeah, he could hurt somebody. But just because I'm not wearing my seatbelt, that does not mean I'm going to hurt somebody. You're telling me that you're protecting me for my own good. Well, that's my choice to protect me for my own good. Your choice is to protect me from somebody else's badness. If somebody's cell phone, if they're texting and driving, if they're drinking and driving, that sort of thing, I understand completely. But if the guy next to me is not wearing his seatbelt, that is no concern of mine. It's not going to make him driving without a seatbelt is not going to make him any safer of a driver as though if he were driving with a seatbelt. Him driving without a seatbelt is not going to affect my safety, and therefore they need to change the law. Anyway, hey, my time's up. This is Shenandoah Briscoe saying God loves you, and so do I. Hello, how are you? Oh, see, I messed it up again. Hello, and how are you? God loves you, and so do I. Goodbye, and we'll check you later. Have a good night, and God bless you.